Hello everybody, how you all doing? This is Con over coming to you with a very special and close to my heart episode of Company of Heroes 2 Fight Night. What makes it so close and special to my heart? Well, when this video goes up, it will be actually my birthday. So, happy birthday to me. I know it's a little bit kind of weird perhaps to kind of wish myself something, but this is definitely a first project of mine that's getting to a lot of people out there. Thank you, of course, so much for all the support that you're showing me, and I honestly, I wouldn't do this if I didn't have the support of you guys out there. So really, from the bottom of my heart, on this very, very special day to me, thank you very much for all the support you give this channel, and I hope I can continue to be worthy of your attention. But enough about me. Let's get ourselves a little more focused on the brave, brave souls fighting on the map here today. So in the south, playing the OKW forces, we have the forces, the yellow-trunked forces, I'm going to assume Hearts of Iron, perhaps, or HOI, though, Vulpine.L, or period L, or however you want to put, essentially, since it's German after all, maybe .L. And over here in the north, playing as the British forces, we have RtN.Hector. In the purple trunks, he's definitely flashing it out because, real men wear purple. At the same time, though, do not think that the Germans down here are any kind of cowards whatsoever. You can definitely tell that because he's taken fortifications doctrine. So it might seem like a little bit more passive, but do not forget that Pack 43 has a very, very long range. And zeroing artillery is quite beastly. At the same time, while we do see the initial caps going off on this map, it is Road to Kharkov, by the way. Let's go take a quick look over here at the commanders for our British friend. We have Royal Engineer Regiment. We also have the Special Weapons Regiment. And we also have the Vanguard Operations Regiment. I'll take a look real quick at special weapons, mostly because you don't often see that special weapons, at least that I don't, might be a little bit different for a lot of other people out there, but I don't see those tank hunter infantry very often, but it's kind of interesting. I mean, definitely a very, very potent force if in the right circumstance. We are going to see a very, very quick model drop for those poor, poor British troops as they kind of bolt over to the house. Maybe bolt is the wrong term. They kind of amble. But that's at pretty much prime firing locations and firing distance, really, for those Volksgrenadiers. And they're going to continue to kind of lay on the smackdown to that garrison. And we are going to see a 50-50 cap, not really going onto the field, but instead actually going to see this Kubelwagen try to decap this middle point and take out a very, very big amount of resources from Hector. Hector, of course, is looking to be a little more intentional about things, going to try to pick on that Kubelwagen, and might even take it out. We'll see if that actually goes off. No, he doesn't get away with that 40%, as the first Vickers does come onto the field at the same time, too. So that Kubelwagen is definitely going to lose a lot of its potency with considering how thin this map is. By the same token, though, these British troops have to kind of watch out quite a bit because with any sort of major push, these folks have tons and tons of amazing cover to hide behind these stone walls, this wood right here. He's moving up right now to next to this house. They're probably going to drop a model or two, but they are going to either kill the squad or force them to a very, very quick retreat. And the question is whether or not those British troops can hold out just long enough for another squad of Tommies to get in. We are, at the same time, going to see both an SWS coming out into the field for Vulpine, as well as that platoon command post going up for Hector. We're also going to see a little bit of a close-range engagement between the Sherm Pyos and these Tommies. Might have been a little bit easier for the Pyos to actually stay and kind of take control of things, but it appears they are just not that brave, and they're just going to pull back before they take too many more hits. However, those Tommies aren't in much better shape right now. If you can notice right now, they're about 30% health, and with this mob of Volks coming up, it's probably wiser for them to bolt. And bolt they do. Again, I wonder if we're going to see a very, very kind of like a quick battle group headquarters right about here, and at the close-up kind of retreat point might be a great opportunity for Vulpine to kind of not have to worry so much about retreating all the way back. Although it doesn't seem like it that far. Trust me, that space is very, very important on this map. We do, however, see a bit of a retreat on all fronts, and this Kubelwagen might get picked up if it does not move back any quicker. Maybe 15% health. Oh, good lord, that destroyed engine does pick them off. It doesn't kill them, but that follow-up fire does. But by the same token, we do see that MG34s come out into the map. We see a very, very quick suppression on these Tommies with the medical supplies. Because these guys are going to heal up on the map kind of just intermittently. Oof, and this might be even worse for this MG34 just outside their fire arc, I believe. Oh no, both of these can barely just not see each other. I'm not sure how that works. I would think that they both fired each other right now. Ah, they didn't have line of sight from their other companions. I see. Over here now in the west, we do see these Volksgrenadiers are going to try to go and pick up on these very, very brave Royal Engineers for their Stens. And to be fair, actually, in the same way that Pyos are quite a beast at close combat, we are going to see that these Royal Engineers are going to kind of take a couple names, force these Volksgrenadiers away. So Vulpine, not really, how do I put this delicately? Not really managing to fight up to his kind of foxy name. Instead of kind of getting forced back by Hector, who is just hectoring him all day, every day. That is not to say, though, of course, he's going to have everything up to his liking either. We are going to see those Royal Engineers barely escape back. And while we do see the map itself is basically going to Hector, 439 to 475, Vulpine is still quite in the lead in terms of VPs. I am surprised to see that these Strumppiles over here have not decided to, move here to cap, to move here to cap. Yes, I'm aware that never mind, I get it now. Silly me. So we're going to see that Vickers machine gun kind of just putting a little bit hurt on those poor Strumppiles as a trench goes up over here in the west. It'd be kind of interesting to see whether or not there is a deployment of, oh no, never mind, they're just looking to have a very, very quick and ready defensive position should the Germans have attacked a little bit more vehemently. We're going to see an incendiary grenade go out, force these guys out of cover, but right now the Germans are definitely getting outfought in terms of just raw experience. We do see 4 stars already on Hector's side, and unfortunately only 1 over on Vulpine. You just have to kind of wonder how that is only working in the British favor. You will see at the same time, though, these Volksgrenadiers might want to consider moving back here. He's got it's the only vet squad he's got. Oh, nope. He's got another vet now finally picked up on this eastern Volksgrenadiers. And they are going to force these guys away. I'm assuming, there we go, there's the retreat. Which is going to allow a very, very rapid redeployment over here to the north. However, what it is not going to allow to do is that these Germans right here can't get another incendiary grenade off. And frankly, at this point, he probably could go and use it. It might be a great idea. And there it is, a very, very quick incendiary grenade inside the house, roasting and toasting. And those Tommies are, toting your old, just time for them to back up. But in the meantime, all of this has allowed, is this now a forward retreat point? No, it is not yet the forward retreat point for Vulpine. It would be very, very difficult for him. I guess, though, if he does soft retreats back to the battle group headquarters, it might be okay. And we're going to see these medics bolt over here to kind of toss a little bit of health on top of these very, very hard fighting Volksgrenadiers. 2 stars already. But as you can see, this Vickers is just kind of dominating the center part of the map. I think even this firing arc might come out just shy of this victory point. But even if troops from the Germans do penetrate up this road, you see a mine right here. I would not be surprised to see a couple other mines get deployed on this road to the right. Now, as we do actually see another one over here on the western approach as well. But at the same time, Vulpine is just kind of trying to go and just, keep things a little bit on the level. He's going to go and try to pick up a little bit of salvage from that unfortunate Kubelwagen, who has now gone to join the Great Beyond. And a infantry support gun has come out to kind of give him a little more firepower and maybe force away that machine gun that's been plaguing him so far. And I was incorrect. Apparently that Vickers, for some reason, wait, why are you backing up? That's a little bit confusing to me. We do see these Volksgrenadiers and definitely stack up quite a bit. Which I'm not necessarily agree with. I think it might be a better idea to be a little bit more dynamic across the map. But we are going to see another SWS come out for Vulpine, and I kind of wonder if he's going to use it just to build his Schwerpetzer headquarters, just rush that. It's a little bit slow for the map. He probably could have picked it up a little while ago. Unfortunately for him, there were quite a few, let's say, extenuating circumstances. Why am I hearing machine gun fire? That's why. So this trench apparently got picked up before. Not even picked up before, excuse me. Strumppire's actually built one over here, so it allows that MG-34 to kind of go squado east squado with those Tommies in the garrison. And surprisingly enough, even though it's just one Tommy firing with his SMLE off at the intrepid OKW forces, he's able to pick up a kill quite easily. go with the Sturmpios at the same time, as well as the ISG. It might be a better idea for the Tommies to run, and drops 2 models already. Is he going to drop the squad? Is he going to drop the squad? No, he doesn't.
Capture point is being overrun.
And it might be lucky for these Sturmpios that they have not decided to go on the road, taking the road less traveled, if you know what I mean. Which is definitely seems like it's going to be a great idea, but I'm not sure they're going to be able... Oh no, they do. They do get the decap, and Hector loses quite a bit of income. But it looks like he's going to come back with a vengeance. He's going to bring up these Bren guns, and dear God, it's going to just shred these poor Sturmpios. They stopped just shy, though, of capturing that strategic point. But it's enough for him. He's decapped it. He's got a couple seconds of breathing space.
The company command post is finished and ready for use.
And surprisingly enough, Hector has decided to go up and rush for a company command post. What did he decide to go for over? He has not actually gone for either hammer or anvil on this particular side of things. And I kind of wonder, I think at this point, if I were he, suggesting maybe, actually, this map is small enough, thin enough, that emplacements might be a legitimate option. Counter battery fire on things like that ISG could cause quite an issue. I'm hearing gunfire, but I'm not seeing any kind of shells going in. There we go. But yes, anyway, what was I saying? I was saying emplacement to be a great option on this particular map. And we are going to see already, as I kind of noted, the poor man's emplacement with this heavy machine gun locking down pretty much from like here all the way across.
Our capture point.
Not so much denying, unfortunately, this garrison right here, which is definitely going to go and bite, I would say, Vulpine in the backside. But we are also going to see these Germans are rushing forwards, trying to go and just lay down S-mines, which is probably an interesting idea, assuming, of course... Oh, no, but there's the first mortar pit actually coming out. So are we going to see counter battery fire in just a couple seconds from the 3-inch mortar? And actually, at this point, too, I'm not sure I necessarily agree with having these Volksgrenadiers trying to force back these Tommies. I think I'd rather encourage them to come forward. At the same time, we do see that this mortar crews are going to start laying waste. Yep. So you allow those guys to call down fire, and they're going to start taking out your S-minefields, and that's just not what you want to see. We are going to see this rush, oof, for these Volksgrens, but then they just hit that mine, and dear God, how many was that taken out there? Was it 5 or 6? Those are a very, very rough hit. 2 squads practically down to nothing, and forcing Vulpine's forces pretty much entirely from the field. Now, what we do note is that although the Tommies do have a fair amount of suppression on the field, they do not have any kind of minesweepers, and that, surprisingly, they're going to make a sharp turn just before they run into the minefield. Apparently somehow he has a mine kit, though. Oh, that's why, 'cause it's Royal Engineers. So his Royal Engineers are coming up. If they see all the mines, they're like, hey, bro, it's probably a bad idea to go there. And the ISG says, hey, yeah, that's exactly what I want you to do. Take as much time as you want. Go ahead. Go ahead. Unfortunately for him, though, these mortars are not going to stop. They start laying waste to this machine gun. And I'm not entirely sure what these Sturmpios are doing right here. But 395 to 399, it's the 14th minute of this game, and already we are seeing a fairly even fight back and forth, which is definitely something that tends to happen a lot on Road to Kharkov. But with these Sturmpios, they might get forced very quickly into retreat, even with an MG-34 kind of sitting there in support.
The enemy are attacking an emplacement.
Now, I'm a little bit concerned for these Sturmpios because one mortar shot on any area right here is going to do a lot of secondary damage to the Sturmpios, and you'll fight inside your own field, and you will definitely pay for it. You might see another very quick barrage coming down. No, you can see it coming down further to the south. It's coming to the east. I'm not entirely sure where that mortar barrage is going. They haven't marked up.
Ready to stand fast.
I guess he's looking for the ISG.
Crews are ready to carry out emergency vehicles.
But already, so what do we see coming out of Hector? So Hector's decided to go for Royal Engineer Squadron, Regiment rather. So he's going to get that vehicle command, crew repairs, as well as the AVRE. So with any sort of, very poor timing there. Very poor timing indeed. So this Cromwell's, assuming you guys get back down in a second, this Cromwell's going to start chasing these poor German squads around the map. Hey bro, you just wasted your entire shot on the wrong target. And now, again, like I said, that secondary fire coming out. You see that retreating German squadron right back to the S-minefield, and because of that, Cromwell decided to go and use that AoE against the Germans. We are also going to see that this Raketenwerfer is now out in the open. Probably not a great option for him. I might be kind of wondering why he's not decided to go for camouflage already. Instead, he's going to fall back into this trench. So, putting himself in a very, very easily spotted location. But, at least for now, maybe he's going to deny a fair location. Oh, never mind. No, he's not. We are going to see the Sheriff headquarters has gone down, put a little bit of fire excuse me, onto this Cromwell. But it's not going to mean a whole lot. The armor is just way too thick for blasters, if you get my meaning. And now this poor MG-34 is kind of chilling over here on this one side, and this very, very belated rotation comes out from this Rakettenwerfer. Well, right now, if I had to kind of give you know, a little bit of a assessment on this game, I might have to give it to Hector. Hector, at the same time, while he's not having a very, very dynamic force, he has a very, very complete force. His anti-infantry having the Bren guns, as well as that minesweeper, can pretty much handle most of what the Germans can throw at him, at least currently. But what cannot be done, at least on the German side, is that they have really no way to deal with that combination of the mortar pit and that tank. Although, for some reason, I am confused why Hector is deciding to go for a second 6-pounder. Yes, as you do see right now, we do have is that a Hetzer or is a Jagdpanther? I can never remember which one that is in this particular game. It's a Jagdpanzer. It is just not, in my mind, enough to back away an armored vehicle.
Anti-tank gun and crew now ready
I don't know.
for action.
I don't know. We are going to see what's going to happen in just a second. These folks are going to come up at the same time, though, and just completely and totally blow their load, if you get my meaning, on this Tommy squad to the west. And it's not going to do a whole lot. Those Shreks are getting nerfed into the ground, and, you know, say goodbye to them pretty close, guys, because we're not going to have Shrek blobs anymore, which is a great thing for everybody but the OKW. But I do suppose that the number of rifles on the field might be enough to take out these Brits. No, they do get forced away, even though Hector does have Vulpine under a trip cap. I didn't even notice either. Good gosh, this mortar pit has been on the field for what, 4 minutes, 5 minutes? It's already 3-star vet, full vet, just doing tons and tons of damage, and now dropping more fire on this ISG, forcing that poor thing away, and definitely limiting a lot of what Vulpine can do. We'll take a quick look at the map itself. We see that Vulpine has basically been constrained right back down into this smaller corner over here, this lower kind of southwestern-y kind of location. It'll be kind of interesting to see if whether or not this Jagdpanzer can actually allow Vulpine to take a much more defined stance on the field.
An emplacement is being attacked.
Probably the luckiest thing for him that might happen is to see a barrage that would come down and take out a couple models in this Royal Engineer squad, kind of force it away. But I don't necessarily see that happening. I see him repairing it, which is what's going to happen right now. It's just coming straight out. But no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, unfortunately, for them.
Flame mortars can be called to attack enemy structures.
Oof, not good. Not good for the Germans. They're going to find themselves kind of taken in the flank by both the Vickers. Oh, gosh, that could be a god hit. Here comes some firepower out, and these Royal Engineers getting caught out. Only 2 models left in the field. No, but they do not make it. They do not allow them enough time to just suppress everything heading towards them. The Jagdpanzer is running forward and is taking a lot of hits. Can't help but wonder if there's going to try to just be a opportunity to just draw out this Cromwell. It does seem like that's what is on Vulpine's mind. I am, however, going to turn down the sound again. Forgive me, guys. I always kind of think to myself, it's just not loud enough. But as you kind of do notice, there's a fair amount of sound whenever it gets noisy between armored vehicles. At the same time, we do see this MG-34 has been dropped, and I can't help but wonder if it might be a better idea. Hector's apparently already calling it the GG. Not entirely sure why. I mean, the Hetzer is down, but that really shouldn't be enough to call this early. I mean, 20 minutes into the game, huge amounts of time for Vulpine to actually get resources yet for another armored vehicle. And it certainly boggles the mind that individuals could think that is this soon done. But pardon me 1 second, guys. I'm going to throw on the strategic map, get myself a little bit of a drink. As you can kind of see, Vulpine's forces are forced deeper and deeper into the south, even as for some reason Hector's forces are just chilling on the northern border of the road. But finally we do see them advanced forward. Not entirely sure really why they've been kept so far back, especially these 6-pounders. Actually, kind of confused why the 6-pounders have been on the field as soon as they were in the first place. 2 6-pounders seems a little bit excessive. But we do see another call-in if they stand fast. And that is just enough to kind of stave off all the damage that's been coming in from the ISG. And now, honestly, if I were Vulpine, if I could go and pick something, I might consider actually putting in a Pack 43. First of all, the range on it is going to be good enough to kind of lock down quite a good portion of it, but I guess this mortar pit might be an issue. Yeah, the mortar pit is able to fire off salvos at this ISG, which is only unfortunately at 2 stars of veterancy. It's been on the field for so long, but for some reason, just that last bit of, medium, let's say, veterancy, it's just eluding it. So what is it going to give it? It's going to be more easier, let's say, tie-down opportunities for them. I will note at the same time, though, that the Germans are making a small push over here on the western side, threatening to actually break this triple cap. Might be able to make it a 2-to-1 cap right now, and might also want to make a good idea to run forward and pick up that Bren before those Tommies get there. That could definitely modify a couple of these issues in favor of the OKW. You can see that happening right now. These Tommies, not packing a Bren, are dropping models a little bit, just quite a bit. And frankly, with the usage of a double ISG, we might finally see enough damage coming in on this mortar pit to either destroy it or at least maybe force it away. Not actually force it away, but maybe a lot more time invested in repairing it. Unfortunately, we do see the Schwerpanzer headquarters has not decided to move far enough out to actually cover the entire point of this VP over here in the west. And I do have to note, I would like to have seen it be a little more advanced. I know some people would say that it's very exposed right here, but already it would mean an opportunity for the Germans to kind of lock down quite a bit of this southwestern side of the map. Interestingly enough, this Raketenwerfer is just getting wow, 3 shots, takes out the main gun on that Cromwell, but unmolested, just firing away. And yeah, it forces that Cromwell away rather quickly. But that's okay. That's okay. Even though they have their infantry section over here has just been beat up like crazy. Here's another couple rounds, and that mortar pit is going to be taken out pretty quickly. They are bracing structure to kind of reduce the amount of damage that's happening towards it, and with that stand fast, it might be enough to allow it to survive a couple more rounds, especially if those ISGs are missing quite as wide as they are, and it's going to actually give enough time for these Royal Engineers to make it on the field as well. But now there's an AVRE on for Hector, and he's got a 30 army supply lead. And with the usage of vehicle crew repairs, that Cromwell might have just enough HP coming back in. It's been deployed way to the north again. That might be just enough for it to survive and actually get itself right back into the fray. However, what is not going to happen is this 3-inch mortar is not going to survive another round or two. I'm thinking maybe one more round from both guns. Anywhere close to it should pick it off. I'm just kind of waiting for that to happen, because I always love the death animation for the mortar pit. Oh, come on, just hit the damn thing. Excuse me, but hit the damn thing. Oh my gosh. Oh no. But instead we're going to actually see this AVRE charge forwards, and we're going to see the God Mortar just roast and toast, and actually forces back the ISGs just in time. And what's the Petard Mortar going to come? I would assume right in this area. Both take out the Raketenwerfer, as well as put a lot of damage. Yep. On that Schwerpanzer headquarters. So while it does get forced away, and you can see, of course, it does take quite a long time for that recharge to come back in, there is currently no anti-tank really outside of the Schwerpanzer headquarters and the Schreckblob. And unfortunately for Vulpine, his mines are getting seen by everybody. Now, I do kind of wonder, is he going to be close enough to be picking up? Nope, I guess that S-minefield is not going to be able to pick on these German troops at all. I expect these British troops at all, excuse me. But that Cromwell certainly will. Moving forward, trying to crush guys left, right, and center. He does not manage to do it. Instead, we do see these Tommies are trying to unload on these retreating Germans, but they kind of get caught out instead by this Maschinengewehr, as well as the Schwerpanzer headquarters. That doesn't seem to be enough. It's not going to chase off these guys very much. It is going to decrew this ISG. It is not the one that's got all the damage and all of the veterancy. Only has 8 kills, paradoxically. But it is enough to decrew one of them, and that might be more than enough, especially as far as that mortar pit is concerned. I will admit I'm a little surprised to see that... oh no. Oh dear God. I'm waiting for another shot of this rocket petard. Yep, there goes Kettenwerfer. I would be surprised to see it get completely and totally wrecked on this one too. No, it actually still has a bare bit of health left. So if that gets picked up, that might be just enough to stave off another push forward by that AVRE, one of Hubbard's funnies. And if you don't know who Hubbard's funnies are, well, let me just give you a quick little history lesson, as the map itself has kind of degraded into the Germans desperately trying to push back the Brits and slowly bleeding out. So back during, after the Allies really became more invested in the European theater, and you do see this Cromwell over here just crushing half of the squads, forcing these Panther strikes away. A lot of the Allied armor commanders realized that there had to be a little more specialized equipment to take care of very, very unique opportunities, really unique battlefield situations. Surprisingly enough, we are not going to see this Cromwell actually try to just circle strafe around this Kettenwerfer, simply allowing it to kind of reinforce, and that's not a great idea for them. We are also going to see, finally, we're going to see a Pack 43 coming out behind the Schwerpanzer headquarters, so that Cromwell's really got to watch out, as is that Petard, but that's neither here nor there. But back to Hubbard's funnies. So Hubbard, I can't remember, obviously he's a British gentleman. He got kind of a little bit of a, an odd duck, so to speak. And for some reason they've decided to not invest in the Pack 43. Why did you not invest in the Pack 43? Okay, you're going to decide to go for a Panther instead? Okay, maybe. Maybe I can see that. Maybe I can see that. But okay, Hubbard, though, decided to actually modify a lot of the tanks on the field to handle much more specialized tasks for them. So, for example, the AVRE, the Churchill AVRE, was designed just as a bunker buster, and you can kind of tell by the massive bore. It's a, what is it, 290 centimeter rocket? I can never remember exactly what it is. 290 millimeter, 290 centimeter would be insane, forgive me. Unfortunately, they did find it actually was used as a very, very excellent infantry suppression, let's say, device as well. But at the same time, not that many AVREs were actually ended up being deployed because the highly fluid nature of the Western Front, as well as the much more, I'm not going to say easily penetrated defenses of the Japanese in the Pacific theater, but a very, very, it was a lot less necessary as the war went further on, and the Allies made greater and greater advances. Also noted too is it's the flail tank, which of course you guys definitely saw in Co 1. The spinning chains out in front of it to kind of detonate mines and kind of keep both the tank as well as any kind of supporting infantry safe as quickly and as soon as possible. Oh, it's just kind of detonating mines as safely as possible, rather, excuse me. We are going to see some fires being put onto this Panther Panzer already, and I'm not sure I really like this AVRE being so far forward. It would have been much more interesting to me to see it fire its gun at this Panther Panzer. But now we're going to see this Panzer kind of rushing forwards, trying to be vicious, trying to be just insane. And, oh, that's what that's for, because the Anvil specialization from, I think, the company command post is allowing us heavy engineers to have a Vickers light machine gun as well. Not that's going to do a whole lot necessarily against this Panther tank, but still it'd be pretty fearsome in its own right. And we do see that this Panther is taking a fair amount of firepower from everywhere it's not supposed to. We do see the zeroing artillery actually going down on top of this mortar pit, which would be just kind of, in my mind, of a waste, spending 300 munis on taking out that single emplacement. I will say, however, of course, that trading out the Cromwell for a Panther is an excellent, excellent trade. And we are going to see these ISGs desperately trying to force back these Tommies over here in the west, but the damage has been done. I'm not sure exactly what Vulpine can do left. He's basically wasted a lot of his forces, and those are very, very vetted up squads, especially these kind of Volk squads, as well as his ISG that's just been here forever. But again, surprisingly enough, only has 10 kills. We are going to see a trip cap in favor of the Brits. And I kind of have to wonder, is that AVRE going to charge forward for anything else? I want to see if it's going to get that 2-star veterancy. Honestly, I'd love to also see if you get a firestorm and it explodes. Ah, yes.
They have 100 points remaining.
We are going to see the Germans over here trying to desperately push back these Bren Tommies, but it's not going to be enough, especially with out in the open. They're going to get cut to pieces. You already see one of them getting forced back, the 4-star. And a second squad getting forced back. So these Tommies holding their own.
Trying to take one of our points.
And they're definitely going to push back this last squad of Volks just before they manage to take this VP to the west. And that's just so sad. That's not what you want to see. We do see actually a regular Churchill come out at the same time too, which is kind of interesting. And we, where was that guy taking fire from? Well, apparently he was taking fire from that Rakettenwerfer again. And somehow the Rakettenwerfer continues to be alive. It has just a sliver of health left on the gun. And I thought for half a second that maybe somehow the Panther has escaped being brewed up and it was just going to be a destroyed engine. But that is not the case at all.
The enemy is down to 75 points.
But where was I? Oh yes, the Churchill infantry tank. So the Churchill infantry tank, I cannot actually remember which one that comes out of. Is that from the Anvil? Yes, it is. So the Anvil actually does allow you to bring that Churchill. Excuse me, guys, I don't play Brits very often. And usually for the Brits, you see a very, very defined, tech up. Because you definitely do see a lot more heavy armor for German factions at this particular point. What is unfortunate for the German player is that his fuel supply has been kind of dominated early on by a very, very aggressive play from Hector, and that mortar pit may rest in peace, which is completely and totally harassing the ever-living bejesus out of the middle of this map.
We're losing a capture point.
We are going to see these second squad of Volksgrenadiers get fully vetted, and we're going to see these ISGs trying to force away this Tommies inside this building. But with the addition of this infantry tank, even though it's facing the wrong direction, not entirely sure why it's a clever fucker. I mean, good God, man, you're giving him your heals.
A capture point is being overrun.
Okay, and here comes another AVRE shot to take out this Rakettenwerfer. May it rest in peace. That dies as well. So 27 kills on that thing. Does get 2 stars of veterancy. But that's not really going to matter right now. It's less than 18 points. And guys, that's going to be pretty much all she wrote. So looking at lessons to take away for your own games might be better if you were the German player in this particular case. One, I keep saying, if the fight is on one side of the map, work to the other side of the map. Work the angles. Yes, there is a Vickers gun in the middle of the map. That would definitely be a very, very quick opportunity to shift fire one way or the other. But it doesn't do you any good to continue to slam your head again and again, even on a thin map, right where they have the same way that unfortunately Vulpine decided to do. Let's just say he was getting outfoxed by Hector's play. But hats off to both guys, both actually Vulpine for keeping his units alive, except for his armored vehicles, and Hector for really, really taking it to Vulpine pretty quick and having a very, very excellent idea of using the mortar hit here as well. Locking down the center portion of the map, I don't think this thing changed hands more than a couple of times after that mortar pit went down. All the same, guys, that's going to be it for me on this particular game. If you have a game that you want me to check out, please let me know in the comments below. Leave me a link to a replay of it, or if you want to send me to it as well, let me know in the comments. I'll give you an email so you can send it there. All the same, if you like what you see here, like, comment, subscribe, and I will be happy to post more of Company of Heroes 2. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. This is Conal Work signing off. Take it easy.